Hello bookish friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lexi and today we're going to be talking about my winter TBR. So I have 12 books here that are either Christmassy or wintry vibes, and some of them are really thick and I'm scared. But let's go over all these. My fall TBR was definitely way too overwhelming for me, and I had like over 20 books on it, and I don't think I did a decent job on it, but not like the best. So I feel like putting just these 12 books on the winter TBR is realistic because I have December, January, and February to get them all done, meaning I'd have to read 4 of these per month to complete the winter TBR over the wintry months. Let's not waste any more time and let's get right into it. The first book I have here is probably the one I'm most intimidated for, not because I don't think I'm gonna like it, just because of the sheer length of this freaking book. And that is Harry Potter in the Order of the Phoenix. This is year 5 at Hogwarts for Harry. I don't really know what this one is about. I have watched the movie, but it's not one of the movies that I've seen the most, so I don't really know what goes on in it. So it says, there's a door at the end of a silent corridor, and it's haunting Harry Potter's dreams. Why else would he be waking in the middle of the night screaming in terror? Harry has a lot on his mind for this, his 5th year at Hogwarts, a defense against the dark arts teacher with a personality like poisoned honey, a big surprise on the Gryffindor Quidditch team, and the looming terror of the ordinary wizarding level exams. But all these things pale next to the growing threat of he who must not be named, a threat that neither the magical government nor the authorities at Hogwarts can stop. As the grasp of darkness tightens, Harry must discover the true depth and strength of his friends, the importance of boundless loyalty, and the shocking price of unbearable sacrifice. His fate depends on them all. This is the biggest Harry Potter book. I think it's, let's see how many pages it is. This is 870 pages, and my camera battery's gonna die. Hold on. Okay, we're back in business. Anyways, this is the first book on my TBR. I'm really hoping I will get to it in... If I'm being realistic, this is probably one that's going to happen in January or February because I have a decent amount of Christmassy reads that I want to focus on in December. So these more like wintry kind of cozy vibe books will happen more so in January and February, but definitely make sure you are subscribed to my channel because I do dedicated reading vlogs to Harry Potter. I read the book, watch the corresponding movie, and compare the two, and it's just a whole vibe with those videos. So if you are interested in those, you can check out that playlist, and then once I read this will be added to that playlist. Next, I have The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. I have never read anything from this author before, and honestly, I'm terrified because I feel like she's like really smart and witty and like lyrical in her writing, and I just don't know if I'm that kind of reader. This is a book I've had my eye on for probably the last 2 years. I don't know what it is about it, but I want to read it. The synopsis says, winter lasts most of the year at the edge of the Russian wilderness, and in the long nights, Vasilia and her siblings love to gather by the fire to listen to their nurse's fairy tales. Above all, Vasia loves the story of the frost, the blue-eyed winter demon. Wise Russians fear him, for he claims unwary souls, and they honor the spirits that protect their homes from evil. Then Vasia's widowed father brings home a new wife from Moscow, fiercely devout. Her stepmother forbids her family from honoring their household spirits, but she fears what this may bring. And indeed, misfortune begins to stalk the village, but Vasia's stepmother only grows harsher, determined to remake the village to her liking and to groom her rebellious stepdaughter for a marriage or a covenant. As the village defenses weaken and evil from the forest creeps nearer, Vasilia must call upon dangerous gifts she has concealed to protect her family from a threat sprung to life from her nurse's most frightening tales. Does that not sound amazing? So, and it's relatively short, but I mean, the font is pretty tiny on here, and these pages are packed pretty tight with words, so we're just gonna wish me luck on this one. Next, I have Voices in the Snow by Darcy Coates. This is the first book in the Black Winter series. I love to add Darcy Coates onto fall and winter TBR specifically because she just writes great horror. As you know, she's like a wishy-washy author for me. I love some of her books, I hate some of her books, so we're gonna keep rolling through her backlist and see what I like and what I don't. This one says, Claire remembers the cold, she remembers abandoned cars and children's toys littered across the road. She remembers dark shapes in the snow and terror she can't explain, and then nothing. When she wakes, aching and afraid in a stranger's gothic home, he tells her she was in an accident. He claims he saved her. Claire wants to leave, but a vicious snowstorm has blanketed the world in white, trapping them together, and there's nothing she can do but wait. That sounds so spooky. I feel like I read one of her books last winter. Can't remember the name of it, but it was kind of like a similar thing where they were snowed in like the wilderness, and I enjoyed it. Didn't think it was like the best, but that book, I can't remember the name of it. I feel like it was too long, whereas this one's like a decent length. It's like 320 pages, which is perfect. So can't wait to read this one. Probably will attempt to read this in December, so I'm like a little spooked, you know? Next, I have Black Ice by Becca Fitzpatrick. This is a YA thriller, I think. Sometimes danger is hard to see until it's too late. Britt Pfeiffer has trained to backpack the Teton Range, but she isn't prepared when her ex-boyfriend, who still haunts her every thought, wants to join. Before Britt can explore her feelings for Calvin, an unexpected blizzard forces her to seek shelter in a remote cabin and accept the hospitality of its two very handsome occupants. But these men are fugitives and they take her hostage. In exchange for her life, Britt agrees to guide the men off the mountain. As they set off, Britt knows she must stay alive long enough for Calvin to find her. Things get even more complicated when Britt finds chilling evidence of a series of murders that took place on that very mountain, a discovery that may make her the killer's next target. But nothing is as it seems in the mountains, and everyone is keeping secrets, including Mason, one of her kidnappers. His kindness is confusing Britt. Is he an enemy or an ally? Does that not sound amazing? I love books like this, and since it's YA, I feel like it'll move really quickly. It's relatively short, and I'm very excited to get to this one in the winter months. Next, I have a classic, which I don't know how I'm gonna feel about, but that is The Shack by W.M. Paul Young. I found this at a thrift store, so I got it for like $2, I think. Mackenzie Allen Phillips' youngest daughter, Missy, has been abducted during a family vacation, and evidence that she may have been brutally murdered is found in an abandoned shack deep in the Oregon wilderness. 4 years later, in the midst of his great sadness, Mac receives a suspicious note, apparently from God, inviting him back to that shack for a week. Against his better judgment, he arrives at the shack on a wintry afternoon and walks back into his darkest nightmare. What he finds there will change Mac's world forever. That sounds so fucked up and so creepy, and I can't wait. Except for this book, these pages are dense too. There's a lot of words on these pages. I mean, it's a short book. How many pages is this one? This one's 246 pages, so not that bad. But this is giving like Stephen King vibes where there's just a lot of words on the page. There's not much dialect. Maybe we could try the audiobook for this one. Getting into some sports romances. The first one I have here is Pucking Around by Emily Rath. Obviously, everybody knows what this is about. It's a hockey romance. It says, in the spicy, best-selling TikTok hockey romance series debut, one ambitious woman scores a major career goal. But when it comes to all the hot options in her personal life, why choose? It's a why choose romance, which I've never read before, so I'm like, what does that entail? And I'm very excited about this. This is like a huge book. How many pages is this? Over 500 pages, almost 600. Jesus Christ. Why do romances need to be this long? But everybody loves this and raves about it, so I'm very excited and hope I like it. I'm scared though, because it's a thick boy. Next, I have Consider Me by Becca Mack. Again, another hockey romance. Carter Beckett is the NHL's best player both on and off the ice. His career is at its peak, his team is performing better than ever, and there's no shortage of women to spend the night with. What more could he want? Olivia Parker isn't new to professional hockey players thanks to her best friend's boyfriend, but she has no interest in dating one herself, no matter how hot he is. And anyway, she loves working as a teacher and hanging out with her best friend, drama-free. Why would she want to spend her time stroking the ego of an arrogant athlete? But once Carter meets Olivia, he can't think of anyone else. Too bad for him, Olivia is hell-bent on keeping him at arm's length, with no intention of giving in to his charms. Perhaps it's time for Carter to up his game. After all, nobody ever said he had to play fair. Sparks will fly as Carter does whatever it takes for Olivia to consider him. That sounds so good. And again, this is a pretty thick book. This is almost 500 pages. What is going on with these romance books? I've heard nothing but amazing things about this, and I love this cover. And it is a series. I don't know how many books, but very excited for this one. The last sports romance I have here is Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. I've had this book for 2 years. I put it on the last 2 winter TBRs and never read it. So this is the year to read this. I might see if I can get it on audio maybe. I don't know. But I've heard that this is like a ridiculously spicy hockey ice skater romance. I love this cover. I think it's so cute. I've always wanted to be a figure skater because I love the little outfits that they wear. I've decided that if I don't read this year, it's getting on hold, but I'm gonna try to see if I can get it on audio. Let's see if I can. I recently signed up for Audible, and I actually don't like it because all of the books I want to listen to, I need to use a credit for. Like, I thought Audible had a lot more options for like the unlimited books you can listen to, and it doesn't. Let's check Libby. How long is the hold? Oh, it's a 2-week wait for Icebreaker. So let's put a hold on this audiobook. 2 weeks would bring us right to the beginning of December. So that could work out perfectly. Okay, so hopefully we can do this one on audio. And I've heard this one is a lot of spice and not a lot of plot, which you guys know that's like my vibe. So very excited for that. The next 4 books are holiday Christmassy themed books. So these are ones I will most likely read in December, hopefully. The first one I have here is Make My Wish Come True by Rachel Lippincott and Alyssa this is it. I friggin' love this cover. This was definitely a cover buy for me, and it's a relatively short book, so I was like, oh sure, add it to cart. It says 12 days of fake dates, 2 holidays, 1 chance to convince everyone they're in love. I'm pretty sure it's a Hollywood teen actor and somebody who is like in a journalism program. They go on obviously 12 fake dates, and I'm sure they probably fall in love and do some cute Christmassy things. And yeah, I love this cover and this vine. I just think it's so cute and cozy. And I love how the words, as you can see, are like metallic. Next, I have The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year by Ali Carter. This is a cozy thriller mystery, obviously based around the holidays. It's a very short book, so that's why I picked it up. And I love this cover too. I think it's so cute. It says, Knives Out gets a rom-com twist in this rivals to lovers Christmas romance mystery. I'm not even gonna read you the description because I kind of want to go into this blind. I don't know. Obviously, it's a romance mystery, rivals to lovers, and a rom-com. I have a feeling I'm really gonna love this. And it's under 300 pages, which is like a beautiful thing. So very excited to get to this one. The next book I have here is A Winter in New York by Josie Silver. This is obviously a book of the month book. I got this last year and never read it. I'm scared though because I've heard bad things about this book, it just being boring, but I feel like I have to read it for myself. I usually love Josie Silver books, so I'm like, It says, a young chef stumbles upon a secret family recipe that might lead her to the love in life she's been looking for. When Iris decides to move to New York City to restart her life, she realizes she underestimated how big the Big Apple really is. All the nostalgic movies set in New York she'd watch with her mom while eating their special secret recipe, gelato, didn't quite do it justice. But Bobby, Iris's best friend, isn't about to let her hide away. He drags her to a famous autumn street fair in Little Italy, and as they walk among the food stalls, a little family-run gelateria catches her eye. Could it be the same shop that's in an old photo of her mother's? Curious, Iris returns the next day and meets the handsome Gio, who tells her that the shop is in danger of closing. His uncle, sole keeper of their family's gelato recipe, is recuperating from a stroke and can no longer remember it, so they can't make more. When Iris samples the last remaining batch, she realizes that their gelato and her gelato are one and the same. But how can she tell them she knows their secret recipe when she's not sure why Gio's uncle might have given it to her mother in the first place? Sounds cute. I don't really have high hopes, but we're gonna try it. This is one of that, like, if I get, say, 50 pages in and I'm not into it, I will just DNF. I don't care about DNFing. And the last book I have here is The Kingdom of Sweets by Erica Johansson, who is the author of the Queen of the Tearling series, which if you watched my series video that I posted a couple weeks back, you would know that I want to reread that series because it was the first fantasy series I ever read. I absolutely loved it and I want to go back and reread it. And she wrote a, I don't really know what this is considered. This is a reimagining of the Nutcracker that tells the tale of twin sisters divided by envy and magic and set against each other one fateful Christmas Eve. That's that. I'm not gonna read much more going into it. I don't really know much about the Nutcracker, but we're gonna see if we like it. Okay, friends, that is my winter TBR. These are the 12 books I want to read in the upcoming winter / holiday Christmas months. I'm gonna set this down so it doesn't fall everywhere. Obviously, some of those books are more tailored to like the holiday Christmas season, so I want to prioritize those going into December, and then the rest I can kind of read as I am depressed in my house from seasonal depression and potentially snowed in. I don't know. Let me know what's on your winter TBR this month. How many books do you have? What books do you have? Which one are you most excited for? Let me know in the comments. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel. Give this video a like, show it some love. Make sure you have the notification bell on for my channel so you never miss an upload. Those are the things that really help to boost my video in the YouTube algorithm. And yeah, that is it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.